is it you pray for?
Good evening, ladies and joins. Welcome to episode 7 of Abyssal Musings. Let me turn down my volume on my thing there. I always manage to fuck that up right out of the gate. So, as well as violating the TOS, which says you're not supposed to swear within the first 2 minutes of starting a live stream. It's a good thing we're not monetized.
Yeah, for real.
So, but yeah, welcome to the 7th episode of Abyssal Musings. With me is my co-host Lawrence Knight. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on?
Not much.
Play it again, Sam.
Yeah. Play the opener again.
I like it.
I can do that. Yeah. So we got I put a thing together in like 5 minutes while Larry and I were backstage here. So,
What is it you pray for?
that'll be our new opener for this show. Thoughts, comments? Kohai, welcome in. Good to see you. And Caucasian Sasquatch, good to see you too, buddy. So I imagine we'll get some more trickling in here and there. Do me a favor, guys. I found out this morning, because apparently I don't know shit about YouTube. The likes actually help push our accessibility in the algorithm while we're live. So yeah, if you hit the like button when you come in, that'd be neat. I'd appreciate it. That said, I'm kind of riding by the seat of my pants today. Larry's probably a fair bit more organized.
I got us covered.
It's been a day. So I almost didn't make it here in time to get this shit started. It was the whole thing. I'm not going to go into it. Anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me start by saying, guys, sorry I couldn't make it last week. Last week was a very, very busy week. I had a lot going on, and by the time Thursday came around, I was dead to the world. There was no way. When you start falling asleep at 7:00, you know that you're not going to make it.
Shit, man, if I start falling asleep at 7, I know I'm going to be up at 1 a.m.
Oh no, I'll sleep all the way through. If I go to sleep at 7, I'll probably wake up around 5. Around 5, I would think. But yeah, definitely missed you guys. But I was able to find out that Sam kept you guys entertained. Then you did a bit of gaming, didn't you, last week?
Oh, we got in trouble last week. Yes.
What happened?
All right. So I ran a poll asking if people, I figured, we'd do some gaming instead while you were recuperating, just kind of keep things rolling, keep people used to us doing something on a Thursday. And so I ran a poll asking if people wanted some more Sunless Skies, which is a game I've been playing on here, or if they wanted me to do some more Monster Hunter, which is another game I've been playing on here. And just for funsies, I threw down a third and fourth option. The fourth option was doesn't matter, you suck anyway, which thanks for that, Squatch. Just saying. Anyway, and the other one was a top-down shooter called Big Drunk Satanic Massacre, or BDSM for short.
Oh boy!
So right out of the gate, I'm watching we're playing the intro video, because I have played a little bit of it. So I started a new game just to kind of go along with that. I do not believe I will be playing more of that one on YouTube, and the reason for that, aside from some troll issues we had in the chat later on down in the stream, we were only on for about an hour with that one. The opening cinematic has an image of a demon. You know what a Sawzall is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so imagine that, but without the blade, and instead 3 vibrating dildos.
What?
Yeah. So there's a demon wearing a fast food uniform holding one of those. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I forgot how risque and sexually oriented that game was. I knew it was going to be violent and irreverent, but I forgot about that stuff, and I was like, oh shit. So I went and I age restricted it, which kills the views right out of the gate. And then about halfway through, we had a number of accounts all going by the name of Grandma, like Grandma 1, Grandma 2, Grandma 3, try and do the the column trolling where they put in like one letter of a word with each post,
Yeah.
and then they take they take like a screenshot of that shit and send it to YouTube and try to get you shut down. Somebody was posting the N word that way
But my
over and over
question,
again with a handful of sock accounts that I ended up having to ban all of them. But I don't ban people on this channel, but don't try to take it down.
yeah, but my question is though, what was the purpose? It's not like this show in particular is one that's out to to rile anybody up. It's not like we're yeah. It doesn't make any sense. Like what kind of attention are you attracting when I'm not on?
Honestly, man, it was probably just some random asshat. It happens, but it could have been because I'm associated with certain other YouTubers, but I don't think that was the case.
I don't think
I
that
think it
was.
was just I think it was just some random asshole who likes getting shit taken down, um, and which is fine, whatever. Banned all of his accounts. To hell with him. Um, and actually we had something like that happen last night a little bit too, because I did a 3-hour game stream last night and all that, but we took care of that right out of the gate, and then all that. But yeah, as a result of all that, I ended up making one of our viewers, Rez. I gave him a wrench to help me out with that. So Rez is now a mod on this channel, and then we quit that game out because obviously it was just too hot for YouTube. Whatever. It's still up on Rumble. You can go watch it there. Links in the description. But I privated it on YouTube because I got kids. I shouldn't have put that up there. It was just whatever. But so anyway, I switched over to Monster Hunter, and then Rez came on and played Monster Hunter with me on stream, which would have probably gone better as in terms of an entertaining show if I had clicked all of the right boxes when I set that stream up. But as it was, I was the only one who could hear him in my headphones.
Wow.
So I was having a two-way conversation, but it looks like I'm only having a one-way conversation when you watch the stream back because I missed a checkbox. So look for more of that in the future, but not fucked up this time.
Man, it sounds like you had a bad week. Well, no, I would say a bad
No, that
week.
was
You
just
had
Thursday night, man. That was just last Thursday.
So Saturday went off without a hitch.
Saturday went by pretty well. Yeah. We talked about. I know you dipped into the chat a couple times, but I know you're busy. We had about an hour-long discussion about this new black hole they discovered about 1,600 light years away, and it's all weird and shit. It was a cool discussion. We found a neat article on that and talked about that for quite a bit, rather than all of the other shenanigans going on. And then last night, of course, we had our midterm bullshit going on that was pissing everybody off on the left and the right. So rather than talk about that, I started streaming God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, that just came out yesterday too.
Yep.
I'm
trying to shameless self-promotion here. I'm trying to jump on that like popularity bandwagon, hoping that these pick up steam because that'll bring people over to SITV, hopefully.
Well, they will, but just know, that people who watch gaming channels, for the most part, they tend to watch certain games as.
Oh no, I'm fully aware of how the algorithm works and how that goes. I watch a variety of stuff, and if I like a channel or a personality, I will watch more of their stuff, even if it's not in the same vein as the thing that got me on there in the first place. And so we'll probably pick up some new people some along those lines, and there will be others who'll be like, "No, I just like the gaming stuff. What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
No, I'm aware that that's definitely going to occur, but again, like I've said before, guys, I want to pigeonhole myself, and if that means limiting my growth, I'm good with that. So,
do what makes you happy. It's your channel, so you know me. You know how I am with this. If when it stops being fun, that's when it's time to reevaluate what you're doing.
Right. So, and the conversations are really what this channel is about. The gaming, was really just something I started out of boredom, and people seem to like it, and I kind of like it. So we're just sticking with it for now. But it's the conversational shows are here to stay. That's what the channel is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. Things are going great, I guess. I mean, it's like, hold on a second. Yeah, it's 9 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, I saw that photo you sent me earlier. I was laughing.
Yeah, yeah. That was before the snow started. That was just frost.
Are you serious?
Yeah. The snow didn't start till like sometime that night.
I straight up thought it was snow. I was laughing.
No, it just like all the trees were look like they came right out of a winter wonderland. And the problem with that is that not all of them had time to shed their leaves yet. So yeah. Yeah, it's wintertime. That's what fall out here looks like.
Well, Kohai, I don't know where you're at, but I can tell you what, over here, there's not a snowflake, there's no ice, there's no nothing. It's
Yeah,
the weather is starting to drop though.
He sends me pictures of his street, and it looks like it's fucking August. Not gonna lie, man, I'm a little jealous. It's cold today.
It is, it is getting colder though. I will say that it's the 70s, the 70s and the 60s are definitely gone. It's getting to the point where you walk outside and it's the high 40s. So for us, I mean, we can tell summer is definitely gone. The mornings are a lot crispier. I'm pretty sure it's been 30 degrees at some point, like the high 30s.
Shit, man, high 30s is like shorts and t-shirt weather out here.
It kind of is over here. But
you know what the high today was? 12. And it's just starting. I mean, this is November. I mean, February is gonna suck.
You are firmly in winter, my friend.
Yeah,
and I can't be happier.
Well,
I can't be happy about that.
We only have 2 seasons out here, man. We got like 9 months of winter and 3 months of road construction.
You know, it's funny when you showed me that. I don't know why, but I couldn't help but think about that snake you told me about in the story, that rattlesnake.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if it was wintertime and somebody was driving outside and it was snowing and everything? Can you imagine how that? I don't think that snake would have lived. That snake probably would have been frozen stiff around that axle.
Well, I mean, yes and no. They were traveling on an interstate, so I think part of the reason that it was still on there was because it was terrified to let go. But I imagine that its underbelly was fucked up pretty bad from the friction.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're excited for snow. I'm so happy for you, man. I'm so glad you like the snow. You can keep it.
No, Sam, don't. This one gift from Sam you shouldn't accept.
Yeah, we know a certain wayward feline who prowls the YouTubes, who loves snow too, and I can't fucking figure that shit out.
I don't understand it.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I lived around snow my whole life and ice and all that stuff that I'm just sick of it. And it's never just snow, man. We get wind too.
Oh, that wind chill factor. Yeah, that's gotta sting when you walk outside, and we get that too.
Yeah, like when you look on your phone and it tells you the temperature is like 9 degrees, which is what it is right now, and falling, by the way. That's just the base temperature. That doesn't take into account how cold the damn wind is. They got other metrics for that. But yeah, it gets pretty chilly. So, and in fact, it was so cold today that I have 2 cars, right? And one of them I don't drive around that much because I hate the thing and it's got problems. The other one drives pretty well. It's pretty reliable and all that stuff. But as it turns out, I had so little fuel in it this morning because I hadn't been paying attention, that it was so cold it wouldn't kick the engine on. So I drive the other one to work today.
Oh wow. Well, I
Yeah,
can
that was
tell you
fun.
what. I'm looking at the weather, and I was getting ready. Keep in mind, I was getting ready to really start laughing at you because it's 58 degrees outside where I'm at.
Fuck you.
So,
Hey, Spock.
yeah. But the funny thing is, I'm noticing. I'm looking at the weather, and right now it's just nice and normal. And then around 2 a.m., some strange looking clouds are going to start setting in, and those clouds are going to stay until 6 a.m. when a rainstorm is going to hit, and it's going to rain all day until 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And then those
Yeah,
weird
but
looking clouds are going to come back until 11 p.m. But yeah, looking at the looking at our weather going into next week. Ooh, tomorrow's going to hit a high of 61. Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to
coming.
hear it. I do not want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. I think our high might hit 22 tomorrow, maybe, but the low is going to be like 5.
Well, maybe our feline friend will probably. Well, she's probably getting it bad right now too.
Oh, I don't know, man, because a lot of that stuff follows the jet stream, and the very edge of that might hit part of the state she's in, but most of it goes through like Idaho and Montana and straight to us. Like I think we get hit by the same part of the jet stream that hits where Bo's up in like I think he's in like Saskatchewan or something. I don't know. He's not here to tell us, so uh, I might be wrong about the province, but yeah, he's like if not directly north, then pretty close to of where I am in Canada. So I was surprised though. Last time we talked about the weather on this channel, he was talking about um how cold it gets there, and I was just like, that's actually really comparable to where I live, and I'm like, 1,000 miles south.
Are you? I thought you were closer to Canada.
No, man, I'm not that far from the northern border of Wyoming, but there's all of Montana between me and Canada.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Montana's a big state too.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's from the northern border of Wyoming. It's about 3.5, 4 hour drive to the border of Canada. I think straight through.
Mm, that's not bad though.
No, no, it's not. But still, that's still a good 6 hour, 6, 7 hour drive from where I live.
Yeah.
So, uh, not that I have any reason to go to Canada ever, commie bastards.
I, I thought you were gonna say something about the elections. You was like you just went straight to Canada.
Yeah, yeah. There was a time, right, when it was feasible, when things weren't going our way politically, to be like, I'm going to Canada, right? Although, honestly, I think only people who don't actually mean that shit say that. But now, right, going to Canada would be like, in World War II, you're living in Warsaw, right? And you're like, gosh dang, all these Germans and these Russians are really making hell for me here in Poland. I'm gonna move to the neighboring state, which would have been Germany or Russia.
Yeah.
It's like it's not better. In fact, it's probably worse.
Yeah. So you might as well stay put.
Yeah. So, and then what's in the other direction? Lawless Mexico.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I mean, where I'm at, the state where I am at, everything went the way that I wanted it to, and I mean everything. I even noticed when I went to vote, there were some there were some things on the ballot that New York and DC and I want to say Colorado had already tried to pull these measures, and a federal court had already ruled them unconstitutional. And I don't know who put these measures on the ballot, but they actually had the nerve to try to sneak that stuff in. Like when you even look up, when I looked up what was on the ballot just before going and voting, it wasn't even. these measures weren't even on the ballot, and one of them was to allow illegal immigrants to vote in our local elections. And I was like, in what world did they think they were going to get away with this? Especially since like two or three states have already tried to do this, and it was ruled unconstitutional. And then today they tried to, or yesterday, um, they tried to pass a bunch of gun laws and claiming that they weren't trying to take our guns from us. And that appears, at least for now, that appears to have gotten thwarted. So I'm just noticing a pattern. It's like they're all getting on the phone and then talking and trying to, in unison, trying to introduce these same bills into the states. So I was like, it's funny how all these states, certain states, all of a sudden are trying to implement the same stuff at the same time. So you can't tell me they're not communicating.
Yeah, yeah. Although I will agree with you. Things pretty much went the way I wanted them to in Wyoming too, because I live in probably the reddest of the red states.
Hmm.
We were the most Trumpingest, votingest state in the union.
Liz Cheney got reelected.
No, no, she did not. She was primaried. She wasn't even on the fucking midterm ballot.
I thought
Thank
I
God
thought
for
this.
that. No, we got Hagman.
Okay. I saw what happened. Did you see what happened in Michigan? How I wasn't watching that race very very closely, but I know Gretchen Whitmer was the incumbent governor, and I don't know
Oh
if she was
yeah.
winning or losing. I don't know if
Oh
she was
sh-
winning or losing prior to that, but a truck with a whole bunch of ballots pulled up at like 1:30 in the morning, and then everybody got up in the morning to find out. Like everybody got up later on in the morning, and come to find out she won. Those ballots pulled up and were counted after the deadline, and all of a
mhm.
sudden she won.
Yep. And that's exactly why the MSM has been saying for weeks now. Well, it's probably going to take more than one day to count the votes because they
Yeah,
keep wanting to bring new fucking shit in that shouldn't count.
yeah,
That's why they've been saying that so that people aren't surprised this time when it happens again. And it has happened again. It's still happening in freaking Maricopa County, for example. Uh, it's just it the whole thing's fucked. Uh,
yeah. Well,
you know,
I saw what happened. I was keeping track of that. Um, there is a YouTuber I was watching last night. And he was pointing out what was happening. He was like, and maybe this is opinion or not, but he was saying that because he's in Arizona, and he was saying that it looked like they separated the ballots and then counted all of the ballots for not for Carrie Lake but for her opponent. They counted those first, and then tried to get Carrie Lake to concede so that that lady would win, so they would look legitimate, but she didn't concede. And then all of a sudden, some more votes started showing up later on that night. And as they did, Carrie Lake started catching up with her.
yeah,
And then I got up this morning, and I haven't checked lately, but I got up this morning, and they were like, "Oh, Carrie Lake is up."
yeah, they're she's projected to win by like 70%.
Yeah,
It's kind of ridiculous.
Luke Kingsley. Hey,
Hey Lou,
Luke.
good to see you.
I mean, Luke, trust me. I mean, I used to live in California up until a few years ago. I know exactly how I saw a Republican county go from Republican to Democrat with 120% of the vote, with no explanation as to where the 20% came from.
Yep. And then there's of course Pennsylvania who can't stop fucking themselves over.
Yeah, I couldn't stop laughing when I
I
saw
mean,
that.
number one, okay, I'm going to say this right now, and if this gets us shut down, it gets us shut down. But the fact of the matter is putting electing a stroke victim for public office is just like having, allowing a triple amputee to sign up for a decathlon. He ain't fucking equipped to do the job. Period. And if
Yeah,
that wasn't bad enough, they elected a guy who died in October.
yeah, I saw that too.
And now they have to hold a separate special election next month to fix that.
Yeah,
This is what mail-in and early voting does for you.
yeah,
It just fucks things up.
and then Warnock and Herschel Walker, they've got to have a runoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, just some of these votes, I just shook my head and I was like, either these elections got rigged or people are just not paying attention. I just scratched my head at some of these. I really did. And but that the YouTuber I was watching last night, he pointed out some facts because I thought that I was like, man, well, the Republicans apparently that red wave didn't happen, but he was actually pointing out a lot of facts, and he was like, no, it did happen. They're just not showing it because they're trying to kill the momentum. They're stop it. They stopped counting votes, and I noticed after a while they stopped counting the voting count for the Senate and for the House. And then I got up this morning, and it's not even showing anymore. Where I was looking at, they were just like, "Oh, it's competitive," and I was like,
Mhm.
"There's no way."
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the thing right now, man, for the Senate. Um, it's 46 Dem to 48 GOP with a need for 51 for majority. That leaves
That's about where
four.
it was last night.
Yeah, it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved
Yeah, they
because
stopped
it's just
counting.
fucking sitting there. And that leaves 4 seats, right? The GOP's got to win 3 of them to get a majority. The Dems have to win 4.
Yeah, yeah, they stopped counting because that's
I'm
that's
I'm
what
a
the
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh my ass off if it gets split down the middle.
it,
I
it's
don't think it
it's
can,
it's
but
whatever.
still.
Now, what I was laughing at was CNN. How CNN was saying that there's no red wave, there's no this or that, but their own map was showing that it was like almost
Mhm.
the entire continental United States was red.
Are you looking at the House results you're talking about?
No, it was all of the local elections, everything. There was like, no, there's no red wave, but there was. It's just they're not reporting a lot of these local elections.
This has been pointed out by a number of pundits in the last couple of days, and I don't think they're wrong. Part of the problem with that is because the single issue, emotional driven aspect, the campaign that the Democrats have run has all been like single issue shit, like compassion, compassion, compassion,
Yeah,
women's rights, Roe v. Wade, that kind of thing.
yeah,
And so Gen Z turned up in record fucking numbers because all Gen Z, they're all young. There's no
yeah,
such thing as a Gen Zer who's over 24 years old,
yeah,
and they are all emotionally driven.
yeah.
It's not a bad thing to have a heart, but if you don't have a brain to go with it, what fucking good is it? First of
You're gonna
all,
believe the first thing you're told.
and secondly, yeah, and so they showed up because they believe that, and because the Democrats ran on this, is that if you vote Republican or if you vote for anything other than Democrat, they are going
Mhm.
to take away,
Not their
fundamental rights, which
rights.
aren't actually rights.
Yeah,
And so they showed up to put a stop to that, and they did. And part of the problem with the GOP is that they do not run single issue, right? They talk about inflation. They talk about the possibility of nuclear war. They talk about the higher taxes. They talk about all the various issues that people are facing, that everyday people are facing, that
but younger
generally,
people don't understand
and
because
they
they're
don't
not dealing
care.
with it yet. Yeah,
Yeah, and they don't give a shit. So and the GOP is not connecting with younger voters.
right.
They're just not, and that has cost them. Otherwise, this could have been a red wave, but fucking Gen Z would put a stop to that shit. Now I'm to be fair, the Republicans are actually doing very, very well. The red shit is still doing well. I think we need like 7 more seats in the House, and and they take the majority. Um, and so that's not terrible, but it's not the total upset that they were hoping for, which is fine. I figured this would probably be pretty hotly contested, and you and I talked about this when uh, SCOTUS went and overruled Roe v. Wade earlier this year. Was
Mhm.
that this? We knew that
You knew
this
this
was
was
going
going to
to be
happen,
the issue that Democrats were going to ride all the way to the bank.
and they did. And I'll tell you what, they where I live now, they tried it, boy, and most
Hmm.
most of the people that were running for office on our ballot were judges, and I was getting I was getting email pamphlets and stuff with photos of them saying, oh, these judges are going to take your rights away, and they were so slick with how they did it because when you look online to see who's running versus each other, all the Democrat judges, you can see their names, you can see
Mm-hmm.
everything they did, but then like I would say half of the conservative judges, there was no information on them, there was no photo, you couldn't find much of anything, and then at some point they even when I got to the ballot, they even took like their designation for R for Republican or D for Democrat like halfway through they took them off, so
Mm-hmm.
you didn't know who you were voting for or what they stood for. I
Yeah.
actually had to take my phone up and I actually had to look up the names like halfway through my ballot because there was no information. And even when I looked them up, some of them didn't have photos, didn't have nothing. But their Democrat opponents, you could all kinds of info on them. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, yeah, they think they were slick. I see what they try to do.
Yeah. So, Lou, yeah, that's another big thing that's going around now is people are like talking about the split down MAGA or whatever,
Yep.
and I don't know why people are fucking worrying about this right now. I mean, we're dealing with a midterm election right now. DeSantis was in this election, but as governor,
Yep.
right? When you're talking about who you want running for president down the line, that's still 2 years out,
Yeah.
right? That's not what we should be focused on right this second. And so by doing that, by reporting that on that constantly, what they're doing is they're getting younger generations to think that the GOP is at each other's throats, specifically the MAGA party is at each other's throats over this shit, which is just
It's not
strict.
true.
It's not true. It isn't true at all. I mean, we've got over on the Linus's channel. There's a couple of guys who keep saying, "Oh, we need DeSantis in 2024," and then there's of course people like Linus who are like, "Oh, we need Trump in 2024," and we all disagree about that, but we're not at each other's throats about it, you know.
Why
And
not both of them? Shoot, I mean,
yeah,
it's like you said, it's 2 years away. We have problems right now that we got to deal with. I mean, in the midst of
right.
all this, I just read an article saying there, the Biden administration just went to SCOTUS. They're still trying to get Trump's tax returns, and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, this man isn't even in office. Why are you guys? They're like, oh, all these other past people, they put theirs up. Yeah, they did it voluntarily. This
Well,
man
and
don't have to show you his tax returns. Why
that's the
don't you?
thing. Yeah, there's no rule anywhere saying that you have to disclose your private financial
Right.
and tax information to anyone ever. It doesn't matter if you're in public office or not.
Right. And at this point, that's what I'm saying. At this point, these courts shouldn't even be entertaining it. It shouldn't even
Mhm.
be entertaining.
No, they shouldn't, and it shouldn't have anything to do with the current election because right now, as of right this moment, I think Trump announced that he was planning on running in 2024. It's not 2024; it's 2022. We
Yeah.
shouldn't give a fuck about that yet.
Well,
I
if
mean,
you
we should care, but
that's
it's not
if
the
you're
hot button issue right this second.
if you're a Democrat, it is because
Well,
they're gonna try every. I mean, if I was him, I probably would have waited because now they're really gonna go after him. Now maybe he did it because he feels that that the Republicans are gonna take the House and a lot of this nonsense will stop.
sure, but
But it's not gonna.
Biden announced he's going to run in 2024 again too. He did just the other day, and it's like maybe you should be worrying about maybe not fucking up the country more before you say you're going to try and get more term. I'm just saying, you know. So
Oh,
yeah, it's this
I,
this.
I think that's just a distraction. I think that it's going to be Gavin Newsom because there's just nobody else.
Oh sure, no,
Even though Gavin Newsom swore up and down in Texas that he wasn't going to run, and even said, "Look, I know you guys don't
yep,
believe me because I'm a
yep.
politician,
No,
but
7-1's 100% on this, man, because I think that Biden actually believes he'll be around to run that long, but I don't think that
I don't think
his
he will be.
the people pulling his strings are going to let him.
No, and they're going to throw him to the wolves if they have to.
Mhm.
They're gonna, but if he's going to end up being the scapegoat, then he's going to be the scapegoat. And that's
Well,
just
he's a meat puppet, man. He's a mouthpiece, and he's not even a particularly good one. He's like one of those marionettes where like the mouth doesn't quite move as intended, so it's just a little bit off with the ventriloquist. He's like an old beat up ventriloquist dummy that doesn't work properly. you know. And I hate to be picking on an old guy. And I know that a lot of the stuff lately. Now the dude's been a piece of shit his whole life. I'm not making any apologies for that. I think lately he doesn't know where he is. Not really.
Mm.
I think he's relying 100% on the people around him, and they don't care about him.
Right.
You know, and I mean, my mother uses this term all the time, elder abuse.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's going on with it, and I think that his wife is involved in it. I think she's complicit in it, and possibly even actively involved in it. You know, I don't think that woman gives a damn about her husband, insofar as like beyond the power she can garner from association with him. You know, so and I don't know if you noticed the other day who came out of the fucking woodwork to uh, pat his buddy Biden on the back, but Barack Obama's been out there again.
Yeah, he's been. Well, he never really went away though.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So,
And he can't run again. So,
well, you know who's pulling his strings? Big Mike. You know, I think Barack Obama is a very smart man. I do. I don't think he's a good man, but I do believe he is a very smart man. However, I also think that he is Big Mike's little bitch.
who's Big Mike?
That would be Michelle Obama. You know, the
Oh,
dude he's married to.
Lord.
That's right. I said it.
I was like, who are you talking about? I didn't think about it. What are you talking about?
We know. We both know who wears the pants in that family. Come on.
Hey, to each his own. Regardless. I mean, the man's a private citizen. So.
Yeah, Lou. If that happens, she won't be long for this world. They will disappear her and install Newsom. You know that whole that, and I don't doubt it. I think that is exactly what the plan is. They're gonna get Kamala. They're gonna run with Kamala and Gavin Newsom as VP, and then something's going to happen with Kamala that will disqualify her, or she will just no longer be eligible for the office in one way or the other. I'm not getting specific here, YouTube, but you know where I'm going with this. And Newsom will be the new president by default.
By default. Yeah.
And the problem with that is that Newsom is under the thumb of Darth Schwab. He's in the same group of young World Economic Forum bastards as the dude who's running shit up to the north, little Castro. And also the new King of England.
Oh, did you read that story about him and his wife getting pelted with eggs?
No, but that's funny.
Yeah, I read something about some protesters threw eggs at them.
Well, nobody wanted Charles to be king, including his own mother. I think that's why she lived as long as she did, because she was waiting for him to die first.
Well,
he's like 75.
The thing for me is I never really kept up with with the royal family and whatnot, because I'm not in England. I always figured it's none of my business. That's their family. It has nothing to do with me. But when I read that he and Camilla got pelted with eggs, the only thing I can think of is, what in the world did this man do? I mean, you talk about when you talk about not liking somebody, but when you hear about the King of England getting grade A fresh farm right out of the hen house, eggs thrown at him and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta wonder, were they hard boiled? I mean, if they really did like it, they hard boil them suckers, so it'd be like throwing little bricks at it.
Yeah, but they'll keep better. No, well, the thing is, man, is that king or no king, he's still the same douchebag he was last year. Still still hanging out with Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and all the people who are fixing to make the lives of everybody but themselves and their own progeny miserable. He's one of them, and now he's the king of an entire fucking group of countries, the Commonwealth or whatever. That's a problem. That's a problem for everybody. Lucky for us, they no longer have the most powerful military in the world and haven't for 100 and some odd years. Although they'd beg to differ, but they'd be fucking wrong.
Well, I'll say this: if I was Charles and I walked outside in today's climate, with social media and everything available, and people being able to read and find out who's connected to who and whatnot. But when you walk outside with the type of information that's available today, and you get eggs thrown at them, and you walk outside, and like I said, you're getting grade A, double A eggs bounced off your head. I mean,
yeah, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put the eggs back in the carton again.
yes. But that's just tripped me out. I couldn't believe it when I read that. I was like, okay, And then I read that his son Harry is coming out with that book. So, when I see all this stuff, just the first thing that comes to me is just stay out of it. Like I said, I don't know really much about it. It's their business. I got my own, I have my own life to worry about, whether they, grab a book and read about, the drama of people that I don't even know.
Sure, and I personally, I'd rather read some good fiction than some crap like that. I don't even like, biopics of people who died like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I do dip into that occasionally, but for the most part, yeah, no, I'd rather read a good novel that I enjoy.
So, hey, with that said, I just want to thank everybody again for joining us. And I know typically we, Sam and I didn't want to make the channel too political, but some things you just have to speak on, especially with what's going on right now. So I think everybody's bracing for the impact and the drama and everything that's going on. I'm just at this point, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But in the meantime, we do have some lighthearted content for you guys tonight. We are taking stock and inventory of how you guys are, reacting to the things that we're trying to do, because we're experimenting at this point to see what you guys like. You guys seem to have liked some of the interactive stuff that we were doing during October's, lead up to Halloween. Yes, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, sorry, I had a whole thing with volume issues. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was going to bring up something that that
ahead.
was a little bit more lighthearted.
Go for it.
To because all this shit just pisses us all off. So, so I'm typing in this thing for Twitter, which is pretty fucking funny. But the first thing that comes up is news about Twitter and not Twitter itself. So this is from a tweet that is entitled "Surprise Motherfucker." A cat just comes out of nowhere. Surprise, motherfucker! Oh yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
That's good shit. That's good shit.
Hey, but look at how the dog took it though. He
Yeah. That dog was like, "But what do I do?"
Well, it looks like it looked more like he was saying, "Well, I guess it's on. Let's get let's get to fighting."
Yeah.
See, people don't know you gotta watch the little fluffy dogs, man. When they get mad,
yeah.
they might not win a fight, but they have no problems fighting.
But man, sometimes you scroll through Twitter's a goddamn cesspool, but sometimes you find something that's just awesome. Oh man. Anyway, that was that was some good fun stuff there. Cat terrorizes my two mastiffs like that. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I used to have this black Manx, right? And Manx are like not large cats, but they make up for their size with just being mean and killers at that. And it's just yeah, she would terrorize the neighborhood animals, most of whom were larger than she was. Some of them she killed and ate.
You just never know with a cat, man. I mean, my little cat is she's half Siamese, and my friend that's staying with me, he and his fiance have two cats, and they're both bigger than her. They're both males, and she has been terrorizing them all since they moved in last week. She's been terrorizing them. Now they they barely want to come out of the room. They're you can see them looking for her, and one of them made the mistake of going into my bedroom last night, and my wife was sleeping, and our cat was curled up on her. She likes to curl up on my wife, and one of my friend's cats walked in there, and I'm sitting at my desk, and all I hear is this loud scream, and I see my friend's cat running out of my room, and then I see my cat running after him, and then my friend's other cat is just standing there in the hallway, just watching them run. He just like a statue. He just sat there, just looked at them, and like you can see he's thinking in his head, "Well, at least it's not me this time." So, but
Yeah.
but yeah, cats are all right. But hey,
I,
tonight, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna. So the Manx I was telling you about, right?
Mm.
When I was a kid, because I had her when I was quite a bit younger. She used to do this thing. We had this cherry wood bookcase, like those big massive fuckers that weigh about 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. It's got all glass front, and it's got a series of like cabinets and drawers in the bottom, and thing weighs a ton. It's about 6 feet tall. Right now, I'm 5 inches taller than that now, but at the time I wasn't. So I'd be walking past this as a boy, and the next thing I know, his fucking cat would dive bomb me from the top of the damn thing from behind, like she was some kind of like ninja assassin. It was the wildest shit. And then this other time, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. I'm talking to my sister, my little sister, and we're just having a conversation. And next thing I know, I feel this like incredible piercing, burning pain in my ass cheek. Right. And I look around, and there's that fucking cat. And she's got a single claw from her right paw, just one of them extended and jammed all the way into the meat of my butt. And she's just looking at me like, what? What are you going to do about it? And then she yanks the thing out and tears off upstairs. Oh, man. It took a minute to stop the bleeding.
Now my cat doesn't do that. But I'll tell you who does make it a point to try to get me is my son. My son,
Yeah.
and for those of you guys don't know, I have a 2 year old. Now this 2 year old is
He's the size of a 5-year-old.
now the scale still says that he's 37 pounds. There's no way. I've been holding this kid in my arms since he was born. There's no way in the world my wife's scale is correct. I don't care what it says. She believes it, but I don't. But for those of you who've never seen my son, this boy is 2 years old, and at this point he's about 3'3", and is solid muscle. And when I say solid muscle, the kid looks like a little bodybuilder. Because he's so active. He's always moving and pushing and pulling things. This kid's calves are so thick and his arms are so muscular that his clothes are he's wearing a size 5. He's wearing a size 5. My friend's son is 4 years old, and looks like a he looks like a 1 year old standing next. My son looks like a 5 year old, and he's 2, and he's taller. He's taller than my friend's 4 year old. So what he likes to do is you get those 5 gallon water jugs. My son will push them all. And it was one day I heard him, and I didn't know what he was doing, but I heard him pushing around, and I was like, I just heard, "La, la, 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 la," and it was him just running. I hear just skid going on. I'm like, what's going? What in the world? And I look over, and my son has two of the jugs, and they're filled with water all the way up because we haven't opened them yet. He's got one jug. He's holding on to one jug in each arm, and he's doing sprints across the house with them. He's leaning. You know when you just when somebody has a like those sled pushes that
Hmm.
people do at the gym. He's using them like that. He's running circuits with them back and forth from one side of the house to the other. And my house is pretty big. I'm in a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath. I mean, my house is almost 4,000 square feet. This kid's doing circuits with them, like it's nothing. But he does like to leave his toys. He likes to leave his toys to, for me to step and trip and fall on. And as I was warning my friend, I said, you have to watch out for my son because he likes to create a minefield. I think he thinks it's funny whenever, when Daryl dad slips and falls on him. And I go to stand up, not realizing that he had one of those toy. It's almost like a toy book. You open up a plastic page, and and songs and stuff start playing. Well,
Hmm.
I had no idea that there was one next to my feet that he had placed there. So I get up, and as soon as I say the word minefield, I take a step, and next thing I know, I'm looking up at the ceiling.
I'm not laughing because at your pain, buddy. I'm laughing because I've been there, and because I'm glad it wasn't me. So yeah, that's the joys of raising children, huh?
Yeah, yeah. But
It's,
speaking of that, guys, so what we have, the first thing we have tonight is we actually found a listing of 39 funny drunk texts. So this is 39 examples of texts that drunk people have sent. In fact, hold on a second. Just give me a minute so I can, because I'm actually pulling up the list. Sorry, guys, this one unfortunately will not be televised for the public.
so how about them? I don't know. I don't do sports ball. I
Now I'm
don't.
gonna say, how about them Steelers? I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I don't do sports ball. The only sports I'm interested in are blood sports.
Okay.
I like boxing. I like K1 kickboxing. I like cage fighting. MMA, that sort of thing. Hell, if they allowed the bulls to survive and go on to the next round, I'd watch bullfighting. But they don't. They kill them whether they win or lose, which I think is bullshit. I think champion bulls should be allowed to be champions.
Hmm, maybe. Alrighty. So, guys, before I even read this, all of these texts are these aren't just jokes. These are texts that actually happen. They're real. So the first one is called "Oh Bro." It says, "I wasn't that drunk. I drove myself home." And then the response is, "Dude, don't even try denying it." And then there's a question mark. And then second guy says, "I drove you home while you drove a paper plate. Oh, I thought that was a dream." And he put idiot.
Yeah, that guy's pretty dumb.
Yeah. Here's the second one, titled "You Were So Drunk Last Night." Do you were so drunk last night at the party? No, I wasn't. Oh yeah, you called a taxi to take you home. So I don't want to get a ticket for being drunk and driving. The party was at your house. so, so I don't understand some of these things, man. Like now, I'm not, I'm not a bar drinker. Sam, I know that you're not the alcoholic type, but I'm sure you've been to a bar or two. But I don't know where.
Oh no, I am not currently the alcoholic type. There was a time. there was a time I spent a lot of time at bars. Uh, and yeah, sometimes really stupid shit happens there.
So this next guy, he sobered up the next morning and found a text waiting for him. Hello, Marty. You gave me your number in your intoxicated state last night. I have a feeling you won't remember me. We took you home in our police car. You assured us several times that you weren't a terrorist and requested that we don't send you back to Ireland. When you drink, please stay safe.
Oh,
when, when you drink, please stay safe and don't drink yourself into that state. Hope you're not too hungover. Stay safe.
oh man, that's good. You know what that reminds me of? So about 2 months ago, we went out to a bar
Mm.
for a friend of mine's birthday party, and some stuff happened with people we weren't there with, and cops got called and all this stuff. I'm not going to go into details or anything. There's some uh, anyway. Nearly everybody who we went with got into it with the police at some point. What's worse is that given the nature of my job, I actually work with the local police department, so I know most of them on a first name basis. and so one of them is this rather attractive young blonde woman, and she who got married earlier this year. And so my buddy, whose birthday it was, right after everything was calmed down and everybody was going home, he walks up to me and he just kind of had this dejected look on his face, and I was like, "What's wrong, buddy?" He's like, "Oh, I tried to get her number." I was like, "What?" So he goes home, and I walk up to her. I was like, "Hey, did my buddy just hit on you?" And she goes, "Yeah, yeah, he did." No, it's like, you let him down gentle, right? Because it's his birthday. Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Right. So the next one, it says, I'm drunk. Hey, can you pick me up? I'm drunk. Oh, you don't have to anymore. I'm home now. Yes, I was aware of that after dropping you off at home. Yeah, I haven't read all of them, but this one, as I was skimming through, this one was funny. Girl, you got the wrong number. Yo, where you at, girl? I'm so effing hammered. Come to the come to the Britneys. We gonna get white girl wasted. Hi there, random intoxicated person. While I would love to abandon my sobriety in the manner of a Caucasian female, as you so eloquently suggested, I am unable to do so. I have a woefully boring engagement known to many as a job that starts promptly at 8 tomorrow. Therefore, I must decline your invitation. Now, nevertheless, I wish you all the best. Please extend my sincerest regrets to Briatney. The F? LOL, are you drunk already? All right, let's try this again. Oh my God, girl, you got the wrong number. Okay. Here's one that you might like, Sam. Haha, you were so drunk last night. What? No, I wasn't. Dude, you ran up to this huge biker guy with a beard and shouted, Hagrid, you're real.
I'm gonna. That is like the single Harry Potter reference you could have thrown my way that I would actually get.
Yeah, when it goes on, the guy says, oh, you know what? What did he do? And he says, he hugged you. And he said, that explains the faint scent of smoke on my jacket. Okay. Mom is happy. I LOBU so much, sweetie. Tina says, hi. We're at the Olive Garden 241 Chardonnay. Drink some water, Mom. I'm so happy I decided to keep you. Me too.
That's rough. Oh wow.
Okay. Number number 8 on the list. Dude, how drunk was I last night? Well, at one point I convinced you to try to bite your own nose. Then what happened? You were rolling around on the floor for an hour screaming, It's getting away, it's getting away. I hate you more than words can express.
I'm assuming that was alcohol related
Yeah.
because I've actually seen shit like that, but with other drugs.
Well, I told you what I saw in the army that one day
Hmm.
when I was going back to the barracks. All the guys got drunk because it was nothing to do. I think we had like a free pass for the weekend, and they pulled out the hard liquor, and I can't tell you how funny it was when I pulled up and I'm walking towards the barracks, and I see these fools jumping out of the window trying to fly and landing in the gravel because one of them had the genius idea of saying, "Hey, which one of us can fly the farthest?"
Yeah, yeah, I've been there. I mean, we used to swing set, but yeah.
But I mean, through the second story window, like Superman.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean just they weren't climbing out and just jumping. I mean, I ran in and
No,
went to the second floor,
I,
and they were taking full sprints out the window.
yeah, I get it, man. That's been a huge problem with LSD and mushrooms and that sort of thing too. Is like occasionally some idiot gets convinced that they actually can fly, and they'll go, to the top of a freaking 4-story tenement building and fling themselves off the top, thinking they're Superman, and they go on
Hmm.
thinking it all the way down. You know.
Yeah. Here's number 9 for you, Drunk Jess. I won't do it again. I love Drunk Jess. She gets it. She gets things done. I've made lunch for tomorrow. No idea what's in it. That's tomorrow Jess's problem. The important thing is I made it. What did Drunk Jess make for lunch? It was just an empty lunchbox. Drunk Jess is a moron. Not quite getting that one.
Oh, so the chick was apparently super proud of making lunch while she was drunk,
Yeah, I
and
guess
then
so.
didn't actually make lunch.
Or how about this guy? Are you in town? Nah, mate, I'm home now. And I just scanned this and I was thinking to myself, it just doesn't make any sense. And I realized the guy was texting to him. He was texting himself. He asked himself, was he home? Was he in town? And then he replied to himself and said, "Nah, mate, I'm home now."
Huh.
And
Yeah,
here's another
don't get blackout drunk, kids. It's not good.
here's another one. Dude, there's no way in hell I was that drunk. You asked your dad if he was a virgin.
7-1. It can be. Yeah,
It can be, yeah.
yeah. It's not always, but it can be, and depending on location and availability and parental involvement. But yeah, there are times when that shit spikes and it's pretty fucked up. Used to be because of like cholera and gunfights, but these days it's mostly because of alcohol poisoning and car accidents.
Let's see. Um, I'm not reading all of them because some of them are just kind of weird. Oh, okay. Here's one. Drunk text. Here's another one that texted himself. What's happening is I am utterly effed. Not even a little bit. A effing lot. Like 2 bottles of vodka effed. I'm dictating this to my sober Chinese friend who works in the takeaway, and he has a strange face. Whoever you are, your friend is drunk. I finished my shift at 1 o'clock, and I'm taking him home. I think you should tell him to go to some sort of meeting. He's an alcoholic without a doubt. He's also dressed as a wolf. He tried to pee in the chow mein and is chatting to himself. You need to talk to him urgently. Not sure. Not sure what that was about, but okay.
Sounded like the Chinese dude was trying to get the guy some help.
I guess. Dating an idiot. Luke, I've lost my phone. Babe, I can't find it anywhere. I literally had it a second ago. Now it's gone. What are you doing right now? Texting you. I'm dating an idiot. I'm dating an idiot. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, that yeah. I ain't got nothing to say about that. That's yeah.
Let's see. Here's another one. Best friend and drunk me text. Dude, I just did some intense math. I just ate a whole box of Frosted Flakes. It's like 1,000 grams. I'm 56 kilograms. That means right now I'm 1% made of Frosted Flakes. Holy crap. Are you high? I'm made of. She just repeats it.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids. And alcohol's a drug. Just it's not worth it.
Yeah, and some of these are weird. LOL. Was I that drunk? Well, you dug up my mom's garden because, and I quote, F Farmville.
Oh, that one was funny.
Here's number 17. These are flying by. Just got a drunk message from my dad. We pooties. Yes, I want a Twinkie right now. Hostess is out of business. I am the king. I am the Lion King, son. Buy me a Twinkie, dad. You're my little fluff.
Good for you, 7-1. That's actually an achievement I would be proud of if I were you.
Yeah, me too.
So I, on the other hand, still smoke like a chimney. I used to drink quite a bit. Among other things, it's not even close to the worst of the crap that I put in my body. So yeah, there's just, I can say with some amount of authority and experience on the matter. Yeah, don't do drugs. Okay, drugs bad. That's the best Mr. Mackey you're getting out of me tonight. Drugs bad. Okay.
Okay, so this next one's really long and it's not funny. It's not funny at all. But it's like some guy got drunk and texted a convenience store worker. So I'll leave that alone. He's like literally having a talk with this guy about whether or not kebab is a safe thing for him to eat while he's drunk, and he tells him to go get some chips instead.
I mean, I suppose that depends on how fresh the kebab is. I mean, if it's been sitting on a heater all day, maybe not. But if it's right out of the grill, the roller grill or whatever, then sure, why not? I don't see why not.
Now, maybe you can tell me what this would mean. I found a kitten. By kitten, I mean beer, and by found, I mean drank. I found a lot of kittens tonight. In response to this, you need help.
Appreciate it, 7-1. Actually, I'm at that phase in my life where I no longer do much of anything. It's pretty much just caffeine and nicotine at this point because everything else I've more or less cut out. Occasionally, I do drink a little bit. One of my sisters is a very bad influence in that regard. And I will drink with her. Although these days I try to be a little bit more responsible about it. I drink plenty of water, and I usually cut myself off when I feel like I'm getting too drunk. And she only lives like half a block from here, so I don't even drive over there and just walk. But that said, yeah, it's like maybe a finger of scotch like once in a while. But time was, it was a couple of pitchers of beer a night. I don't mean like a couple of beers. I mean a couple of pitchers, and usually that ended up with a dart sticking out of somebody's fleshy bits because I used to drink and play darts. and invariably somebody would start chucking darts at somebody else, and it turned into this whole thing. And yeah, somebody'd get a dart stuck in them. If you were lucky, it was just a foot or like a butt or something. And if you were really unlucky, it ended up in a place that you can't recover from.
Yeah, I've heard of a few scrotum shots.
Well, scrotum shots. I got grazed in the neck one time, pretty good. Grazed though, it didn't stick. Yeah, and all that. And I won't lie, dude. It was a lot of fun. It really was, but it wasn't smart. No, Lou's all like shocked. I was like, no, I was quite the bad boy in my 20s. And by bad boy, I mean very stupid boy. And that's just what we got up to when we was drinking. You know, maybe another time I'll share some other stories about other things. But you know, I will say this: it was a lot of fun. I don't regret doing a lot of those things for the most part. There are repercussions to this day that I do regret incurring. But as for the experiences themselves, I don't necessarily regret that. I will say though that I think that the Dare program, you know the Dare program, right? That they run all the
Yeah.
kids through in grade school. So I think that would be a hell of a lot more effective if they didn't leave out how much people like doing drugs, how much fun it is. I think that would scare them a hell of a lot more effectively than just telling them like, oh yeah, this is going to happen to you. You know, all your teeth are going to fall out, your liver's going to fail, you probably end up with an HIV infected needle stuck in your arm, you know, that kind of thing. Well, the stupidity is in fact probably why we die younger, because in addition to recreational consumables, we'll say, even if you leave that out, all men are hardwired in a certain way, right? So if you were to place a giant flashing red button in front of any man on earth, doesn't matter where they're from, with a sign on it that said, "Do not, for the love of all that is holy, push this button under any circumstances," I guarantee you that man would push the button because we can't help it.
I
Just to see
can't.
what happens.
Well, I have to disagree to a point. I can't say that I would, but I would strongly consider it.
Yeah. That's called willpower, man, because the hardwiring's still there. It's still in your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah,
It's
it
like, I
is.
really got to know what happens if I push this damn button. You know, and most of us will push it just to see what happens. And usually that something is not. I think this was perfectly illustrated in the animated movie for the Jetsons that came out in the 90s.
Mhm.
Right. So there's a bit where George Jetson is in the belly of the sprocket factory, right? And he comes upon this one particular place. He's trying to escape from something, and he's in a hurry, and he knows he doesn't have much time. But he finds this like finger-sized hole in a device, right? Attached to all kinds of like piping and other machinery. And it says above the hole, "Do not, under any circumstances, put your finger in the hole." And you know what happened? He looks directly at the camera and he waggles his eyebrows, and then he sticks his finger in the hole. And then he promptly gets sucked through all the machinery through that hole.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? Every man on earth can relate to that. Yeah. 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 And that's good. That's good. I'm glad you didn't. I was more involved with that than I care to talk about at the moment. And a lot of scary shit happened, and a lot of dangerous shit. Uh, and there have been several moments in my life around that time where I should not be here today. Let's just put it that way. You know, and not all of it was like, you know, like I wasn't one to overdose or anything like that, but the situations that it put me in should have led to my violent death, and didn't, luckily. But yeah, it's not a great world to be messing around in, and I would recommend everybody stay the hell away from it. But at the same time, I also believe that our cumulative experiences throughout the course of our life, are what make us who we are. And I would not trade those experiences, because I would not be the same man.
Mm.
So, sorry to wax eloquent and get all lectury.
No, no. That's how we do things here, right?
Yeah. So I think Lou's laughing at me. It's all right. I'm pretty funny. So, but yeah. So sorry about the little tangent there, but yeah, don't do drugs, kids. Bad things can happen. listen to those who have been through the things that they are warning you against, like communism. No, I'm serious. So like people who have come from communist places,
Oh yeah.
who warn you against what's coming, listen to them. They know what they're talking about. I do actually, and you know what? Tell you what, one of these days, we'll do a stream or something. We'll have you on, and I'll get a little bit more in depth with some of those stories. I mean, obviously, without like giving away too much about personal stuff, because it's not just me I got to protect in those stories. But yeah, we'll talk more about that in the future. And for the record, what I was just saying about communism, Luke Astley comes to us from it's Venezuela, correct? I believe. Yeah, and if she tells you what to fucking look out for, dude, listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. And I don't mean dude as in like you specifically, Larry. I'm talking to the audience in general because I know you know.
Mhm.
So, yep, dude, me too. Me too. Things have gone the other way. Not only would I not be here, but my children wouldn't either. And I'm glad they're here too. So I don't know that one. You heard of that one, Larry?
The gunpowder.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the name, but I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. Nicaragua too. Yeah. So no, she knows what she's talking about. And that's, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And you two can kiss my ass. Communism is a drug. It is. It's a drug on a social scale. It hooks people in with the good times and the good feelings and shit, and it leaves them destitute and ultimately destroyed in the end. Still chasing that high. So there we go. Don't be a commie. So I am sorry, Larry. I keep stepping on your thunder.
No. I mean, look, we're in this show together, man. So
Yeah.
it's cool with me. I mean, I was just looking at the rest of the list. It's mostly just people who were so drunk that they were just texting themselves. Like this girl was literally screaming at her best friend, asking for a ride, saying she was in the car, and it turns out she was texting herself. She's arguing with herself. She's in her own car, asking herself for a ride, thinking she's somebody else.
Yeah. That's no. Hey, it was, had a bit of a cluster F at work. One of my cars wouldn't start because I don't have enough fuel in it, and it's like really cold where I live. Didn't get up enough time to set this up on time, so we were flying by the seat of our pants. It's been a day,
Yeah.
So I'm sure Larry had a better day because it's nice and fucking sunny where he is.
Yeah. Hey, Sam. Okay, here's one you'll like. Number 34. Crap. You're so drunk, Joel. Not that much. You picked up every rock on the way home and yelled, "Where are you, Patrick Starr?" So not that bad. I'm not done yet. Then you cut up every pineapple in the fruit shop and yelled, "Die, SpongeBob, die!" and find $300 for not paying for them.
Hmm.
You got fined $300 for not paying for the fruit cut up. You
Yeah.
crap. But no, yeah, I have no problem, man. I mean, Lord knows I've gone on enough rants myself. But as you said, and as Lou said, communism is no joke.
No, it's a dark thing that leads to dark places. Those dark places usually are graves filled with the bodies of the people who fell for it. So, what's up, Shadow? Welcome. You missed quite a bit.
Shadowhawk.
So he is For those of you who don't know, I think some of you do. Shadow of Hawk is now doing a live stream on Thursday afternoons with our very own cat, the Hijabi Gamer, and they alternate between their channels. This today's was on his channel, where they do very much like what we're doing. They just, talk about stuff. So I'd recommend checking it out. I rather enjoyed it, and I also like to screw with them in the chat. It's just fun. Cat will be making a serious point, and I'll put something jacked up in the chat, and Shadow will see that and just lose his shit.
Has she finally gotten it right? When you say it could be raining flaming cobras, because she can't.
No. We're working on that. We're working
She
on
still
that. And that,
hasn't got
and
it
now,
right.
and now, Boa's taken up this whole this like, hey, do we get umbrellas? I was like, no, you don't get. Why would you? What? First of all, do you know how much a snake weighs? An umbrella's not going to help, dude. Especially not if the thing's on fire and falling at terminal velocity.
It's better than It's better than
Yeah.
landing on you without one.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, Shadow. I have something for you. Just for you, buddy. You're welcome. They as far as I know, they stream around. It was about 3:30 my time when they started. 3:30, 4 o'clock my time. So, Cat's time that would probably be closer to 5 p.m. Eastern, give or take. So maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock Pacific. Yeah. Thank you to Kohai Maskist for that meme. I did tell him I would show that tonight, and I'm going to show it again on Saturday because it's hilarious to me. Lucky for him, I have not actually passed that around to other people because he's terrified of that. But yeah, it's it's pretty funny. And yeah, so on. He's like, "Yep, I knew that was coming."
Hey, I have to cut it just for a quick second. I gotta read you guys this one. This is more drunk text. This is number 36. I was rudely awakened from my sleep by drunk text messages from the undergrad I supervise in my lab. Let's just say Mario Kart saved her A word. I wanted cookies so yummies. I I, I don't DOMT like the music you like is so FIN. Oh no, it's late. Oh, okay, I'm very, very sorry with two Y's. Oh no, it's late. Okay, I'm very, very sorry. LOL, you wouldn't happen to be drunk, would you? No. Okay, a little F. I'm getting fired, aren't. LOL, nah, no worries. I hope you're having fun. Mario Kart, inward. Oh my God, please don't fire me. I sat through tutor today for the mice. MICE.
Oh, jeez. And that's one of the things that I don't like about texting with people who are drunk is because they can't spell for shit, and you have to decipher what the hell they're trying to say.
Oh, there was no mistaking that N word. N I
Yeah,
G
right.
N I G G A.
That would be
Mario
the
Kart.
that would be the one thing that didn't get misspelled. Yeah, I
Mario
just
Kart N word.
no, it's just I take great care, even if I'm drunk and I'm texting, I take great care to make sure that my punctuation and my capitalization and my spelling are on fucking point because I don't like sounding drunk.
How about this one? My drunk friend. Help, I'm really drunk. My nipples got really hard and I'm with all girls. Oh my God, wrong number. Sorry. LMAOO. It's okay. Hope you get everything sorted out.
I want to ice those diamond cutters down. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. It's
And guess what? My
hmm,
2-year-old just woke up.
that's kind of
It's
late.
Yep, it's 12:49 where I'm at. I'm on the East Coast, and my son is now wide awake and crying. He has opened the door and he's crying. I'm not going up there.
Well, hi, little buddy.
He'll go back to sleep at some point, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I don't know about these drug texts, man. Yeah. Well, if I'm drunk enough for cops to be present, man, I guarantee you spelling's probably the least of my worries.
Yeah, for real.
Although I can surprisingly, the only time I can say the alphabet backwards is when I've had a few. Can't do it sober.
No, no, you can't. Hey, I want to take over for a bit because
Yep,
I'm
yep,
gonna
yep.
have to handle the situation.
Yeah, we'll just
When
have a
he
chat
wakes
with
everybody.
with the chat here.
Yep, I will be right back.
All right. I was wondering if he's going to mute his mic first. Oh, so how y'all doing tonight? I'm not doing too shabby myself. Things could always be worse, as you know, but yeah, no, not too bad. Glad y'all are here with us. It's been a minute since we did one of these, and I'm glad we're here tonight. So I don't we didn't have a lot planned. I guess we're not doing the horror movie thing anymore because it's after October. But I will say this: I'm not doing like other holiday themed things. I just like horror movies, so that's why we did that. So good to hear it, man. So I was thinking about later on tonight after this stream, I might jump on with some more gaming too if you guys are still awake, since I mean, I know a lot of you probably have to get to work and everything, but I don't. I have Friday off. It's Veterans Day, and I have a government job, so I don't go into work tomorrow. So I might be streaming later tonight with some gaming. Um, y'all are welcome to join if you're awake. If you have somewhere to be in the morning, by all means, go to bed and get some rest. So, um, but yeah, and then I don't know. Might do some more of that tomorrow. I've got some other things in IRL that I need to be taking care of tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. So, are you back?
I'm back, so not sure what that was about. I just walked upstairs, laid him right back down, put the blanket on him, he just rolled back to sleep.
Sound like you got a bug, Primal One. If it's
Yeah,
just your throat and you got chills, though, that could be that might be strep. So you've been to see anybody about that? I know that's like a risky proposition these days because if one doctor lies, how many of them are lying? So you never know who you can trust anymore. But
yeah, it can also get in your ears and throw up your equilibrium.
well, the worst thing about strep is that it can also become pneumonia, which can kill you
Yeah,
if left untreated. It won't necessarily do that, but there is a chance.
and it can get into your heart too, and
Mm.
mess with your heart and kind of make running and things like that a little different. I mean, a little difficult for you. I mean, that's what happened to me.
Well, I've had pneumonia 3 different times in my life. I've had whooping cough a couple of times. I've had scarlet fever. Uh, Obviously, I've had chicken pox because I came up in a time when we had chicken pox parties for kids. Um, and I'm in chronic bronchial infections for like 10 years. Honestly, I'm surprised my lungs work given what I've put them through and all of the respiratory illnesses I've had. And it's probably why COVID wasn't that big a deal for me because it's not much more it can do to me that hasn't already been done. Plus, all the stuff that I've inhaled over the years. you know, So, and I'm not just talking about like drugs, like we were talking about earlier. I've been through the course of my working history, I've been exposed to a lot of other chemicals and that sort of thing too. Um, Radiation, even.
Mm.
Although you don't have to breathe that stuff in, you just got to be around it. But uh, and so, yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I've had all kinds of fun respiratory illnesses, and among other things. But yeah, no, what you described just from that tweet or just from that text, sorry, the comment that you put on here, and again, without knowing more about it, I couldn't tell you one way or the other. And also, YouTube, I'm not a doctor. I've just been sick a lot. Uh, you know, that sounds like it might be strep. It might not be too. Might just be a fucking a throat bug. It happens. Well, strep is a throat bug, really, but you know what I mean. It might just be like a one-off. So I don't know. Get plenty of rest, drink plenty of fluids. You know, make sure that you stay in the zone with the nutrition, and you should be okay. You know, I'm assuming that you're relatively young and in shape and healthy and all that stuff. If that's the case, then you'd probably be fine. You know, do you still have your tonsils, dude? Because that could be it too.
I still
Yeah.
have mine.
Yeah, if they get like a severe buildup of stuff in the back, they can get infected, and it can cause the same symptoms too until they get like removed.
Yeah.
So my kid had to have hers removed a couple years ago, but I've still got mine.
Yeah, Primal. He can loan you one if you need it, but you'll have to give it back.
Yeah. So now that we've okay, thinking it's the flu. Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, last time I had okay. Yeah, and that's something you're probably just gonna have to ride out. There isn't a whole lot they can do about it. I know it's flu season too, so it's probably. I mean, they don't like to talk about the flu anymore, like it's not a thing because Big Daddy COVID came and took its place. Uh, and all of a sudden the flu and the common cold just stopped being a thing worldwide. All of a sudden, nobody caught that shit anymore.
They were still catching it. They just weren't televising it because they wanted COVID to be the big, the big,
I
the big
I I,
bad.
I don't think that I layered that with enough sarcasm dripping from my voice.
You, you did. I'm just adding on to a fact.
Yeah, but it's yeah, and the fact is they're all coronaviruses. They all have that basic viral shape, and so like the tests don't really differentiate between the types. And if you've got some kind of autoimmune disorder, right? Something like a compromised immune system for whatever reason, you know, if you're a bubble boy or you got HIV or whatever, um, the common cold can kill you. It happens, and there are deaths worldwide due to the common cold even today. It happens. It's not common. It's not as common as the virus is, certainly not. But it's just one of those things. And this COVID thing, they got us in this panic, like, oh my gosh, new variants. Oh no, we're all going to have to lock down again. No, we're fucking not. It's endemic at this point. We're just going to have to learn to live with it, like we have every other fucking endemic disease. We're all going to get it from time to time. It's just the way it is. It's out there now. It's in the world now. So we just got to learn to live with it and not panic every time something happens. I mean, technically, Spanish flu's still out there. In fact, there's a school of thought that thinks that the flu that we get every year is the Spanish flu. It all stems from the Spanish flu. It's just been watered down over the years because people have built up immunities to it, and or resistances rather, so that it's no longer as deadly as it once was. And it's obviously mutated since then. It's not quite the same virus anymore, but that it all originally came from that, which is possible. But you don't see us shutting everything down every time the fucking flu comes through town. You just stay home, try to get better. So, yeah, I don't know. But again, YouTube, we're not doctors, we're not experts, which is, to my mind, a good thing because experts can be bought. Experts lie. Experts will do a lot of things for that funding.
They also drop flaming cobras from the sky.
Well, I mean, it happens. You ever? So I was thinking about that because I say that a lot, right? Because I think it's funny and I think it provides a great image of how it could possibly be worse. No matter what you're going through, that would definitely make things worse. The only way I could think that could actually happen is if you had a snakes on a plane scenario with like Sam Jackson and the surfer dude.
Yep.
and they're flying overhead, right? And a bomb goes off and it destroys the plane. And in the flaming wreckage, all those snakes just fall from the sky. And you happen to be beneath them.
Something similar happens like that. Something similar like that happens in Australia, but it's not snakes. It's poison. It's venomous spiders, if I'm not mistaken. It's sometime in the year where all the babies hatch, and the wind blows them down from the trees and stuff, and they like make little parachutes out of their webs, but they're all venomous, and they just glide down out of the sky.
Yeah.
I
Oh, did,
you know I used to oh man I used to I when I was a kid I wanted to go to Australia so bad until I found out until I found out everything on that island can kill you.
yeah. Yeah. Just about everything is either can kill you or is actively trying to, even if it can't.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous place, Australia. Super fun, but dangerous place. By the way, speaking of dangerous things, so I posted this thing the other day on the old community tab. I'm gonna pull it up here. Uh, that I thought was kind of hilarious, and some of you have already seen this, I'm sure. Um, let's see. I think it's this one. Yep. All right. So yeah. Anybody in chat not know what that thing is? Because I know what it is.
I think I know what it is.
I'm over here. That guy who is handling that blue ringed octopus is what that's called. They don't
Yeah,
get any bigger than that.
I think it's
He's a
highly
he's
venomous.
he's a dead man. Oh, it's not even highly. It's way past that, man. That little thing right there has enough venom in it that is the venom that's in it is potent enough to kill like 26 or 27 full grown healthy human beings in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, he's dead because it's
Yeah.
on contact, right?
Well, no, they got to bite you first. But from what I hear, um, the way they do that, the way they envenomate you, is so gentle that you won't even know that it bit you, and then you
Okay,
die. You start feeling woozy and shit. And yeah, yeah. And there is no known anti-venom for it. There's no cure. There's no saving yourself. Maybe if you're really exceptionally strong, you might last a little longer. But yeah, it's pretty much a death sentence. So yeah, that now from what I understand, the guy in the picture. Oh yeah, yeah, he's dead. Um, I I think they took a meme of this guy, but from what I understand, he had a terminal disease, and so he decided he was going to go out and handle a bunch of, venomous animals because what else did he have to lose, right? And in that case, I have no issue with him doing that because he's doing something that many people don't get to do, which is I mean it's a beautiful animal. I love octopi. I think they're some of the neatest creatures on earth, but I wouldn't touch that one.
me neither.
you know and most octopi are not actually venomous. This is one of the rare exceptions, and it's what's funny about it is that not only is it a rare exception among the world of the octopus, but it actually is one of the most potent toxins found in all of the oceans of the world. There are very few that are anywhere near its level in terms of like sheer killing power.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was
I'm reading a story about that. If it's the same guy, he lived.
giddy. Good
If
for
it's the
him.
same guy, it's saying that a few years ago, some guy in India was holding one in his hand, and at one point it got stuck to him, but it still didn't bite him.
Huh.
And he put his hand in the water. He just let it go back in the water.
Good for him. That's awesome. That's how are the kids on Reddit saying it? That's a total Chad move.
I wouldn't quite call it Chad.
No, I'd call it lucky.
Yeah, he's lucky. He's lucky that thing is. docile because now here's
Right.
another guy
Not,
that did die from holding one. It was a lady. She unknowingly held it while in Indonesia.
yup. That'll do it. This world is full of wondrous things, but most of them will try to kill you.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, she lived too, but she didn't know. She didn't know that it was
I said,
venomous.
I said try.
I thought I said it. I thought it. Well, it
Did you
must
ever
be late.
did you ever see that video of I think it's a moped in like one of the slums in India, um, and the place where one of the side mirrors would be is broken off, and so there's just sort of like a hole, right? And they get up real close to the hole, and this fucking cobra's head comes out of it. It's just like holy shit! There's a whole cobra in there. That was a wild video.
So you just don't know. You
Yeah,
just don't.
I might try and find that for Saturday. Might try and bring that up.
It just might be worth it.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, that's why you should never shuffle around in shallow sand either, and in the shallow waters, with your feet in the sand. I know it feels great and all that stuff, but other certain animals like to hide in there. Stingrays, for instance, dogfish, which is a kind of shark that's large enough to bite your foot off. You know?
I've heard of dogfish, but I've never seen one.
Let me see if I can pull an image up. They are interesting looking. They're not like the prettiest sharks. Dogfish shark. Images. I mean, they're not terrible looking either, but all right, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. So these are dogfish. I'm not sure why they call them that exactly. But yeah, sometimes they like to like sort of bury themselves in the shallow, or in the sand in the shallow, and people do step on them, and then they will turn around and they will bite you because you just stepped on them.
It just looks like a shark. It looks like a straight up bull shark.
Ah, it doesn't look at that nose. It's blunt as hell.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
close enough.
weirdly elongated.
It just looks like a shark that got socked in the nose real good, but it still looks like a shark.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I like shark. They talk about like who your heroes are growing up
Hmm.
and stuff. And one of mine was a woman named Dr. Eugenie Clark, who was a world-renowned ichthyologist in the 60s and 70s, and she is responsible for the sheer amount of knowledge that we have about sharks, which we still don't know everything about them. We're still learning new shit about them, and probably will be for some time. But she is responsible for us having as much knowledge as we do because she made it her life's mission to learn about sharks. Knew more about sharks than anybody else on the planet. Did a lot of cool stuff with them, and I think she's passed away earlier this couple decades ago. But very very cool lady. All that, and I always looked up to her. She, and that's you find out you hear all these people talking about like, oh, there aren't enough women in STEM, which I agree, by the way, and there aren't strong, successful women in history until right now, right this second. Well, bullshit. I can point you to, there was that one there. There have been how many women rulers? Madame Curie is responsible for us having any understanding of what radiation is, let alone how it works.
Yeah.
Right. Um,
A woman created Kevlar too, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. And Hedy Lamarr was a beautiful, world-renowned actress, and I think she also
She did
invented
some
a
stuff
kind of
too.
shortwave radio.
Yeah, radio.
Yeah. And because she was a fucking genius,
Yeah.
so it's like, no, there are women out there who you should look up to, women who did amazing freaking things. You know, it isn't just this generation who thinks that they're, all that in a bag of chips, as we said back in the 90s. I'm kind of regretting that coming out of my mouth now. But, uh, but yeah. So I don't know. I think, I don't really know where I'm going with that, guys. I just thought, you know, should bring up Eugenie Clark. You guys should check her out. She was like the Diane Fossey of sharks. And I just realized that if you don't know who she is, you might not know who Diane Fossey was either. uh, there was a movie called Gorillas in the Mist starring Sigourney Weaver about 25 years ago. It's about Diane Fossey, real lady. She was very into conserving and learning about silverback gorillas, and she was murdered by poachers. So did a lot of great work before she was, murdered. Yeah, I think I've heard of that too. That's I think a wolffish is like it's not a shark though. It's some other kind of thing. It might be. Well, there's a wolf eel, which actually is pretty fucked up because they got teeth that go like all the way down their throats. So
Oh,
if they latch onto your arm or whatever,
oh, you're done. Forgets you.
well, I mean, you could pull your arm out of the water and they'll drown because they're fish. They have to, filter it through their lungs or through their gills rather.
Yeah, but you're not happy until they die,
But that
and
that
it's
that
up to
arm,
you.
you can't get that arm off except surgically, or the fish off of your arm except surgically. And they're like 8 feet long and they weigh a ton. Um, but because those all those teeth are angled back down their throat like hooks. So yeah, once they're in your arm, they're not coming out unless they're cut off. So by the time you get that done, meantime, it's holding your flesh in place and it's fucking dissolving it. So by the time your arm gets, free, it's been half digested.
Ugh.
Yeah. Don't get bit by a wolf eel. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. This thing's ugly too.
Yeah.
Looks almost as bad as a stonefish.
Yep. Nasty creatures.
Ugh. But in any event, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I definitely I definitely missed that week. I wish I could have been here to see what was going on last week. That would have been funny. You know what? Maybe we should do that next time. I'll join you in one of your game playing escapades.
Fair enough. We'll have to work that out how to do that.
Well, from a spectator's point of view.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say if you wanted to be on there like vocally, we'd have to like you have a PS4.
Uh, Not anymore.
Okay, that'll be an issue because I actually stream those game streams through my PS4 and not through StreamYards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then
You
that
know,
would be an issue.
so I'm working on figuring out how to do it through OBS. I got to talk to Kat about that because that's how she streams her shit. But I think yeah. So I'm working on figuring out that so that I can do it through like OBS or StreamYards or something. So it's a little easier to deal with having other people like on. But as it stands right now, it's a bit of an issue because this was the simplest way for me to do that without having to go and purchase additional equipment, kind of thing. Because I'm cheap. There it is.
Hey
So,
man, you listen to the poor man's podcast. I mean, that's why he named himself that for a reason. The guy
yeah,
started out with $40 worth of equipment.
yeah. Right, and right now I'm operating with you count the laptop and the new mic headset is probably about $400 worth of equipment total, but that's spread out over a couple of years.
Yeah. Hey,
So
thanks, Seven. I appreciate that, man.
yeah, thanks, man. We appreciate you guys being here,
Yeah,
and it's
really.
always a blast. And we will see how things progress going forward. I was telling him while you were not on air, I was like, I'm not doing more holiday shit.
No, I thought about that. But
I
It's
have
the
been
last
avoiding
thing
going to Walmart for the last month and a half because I don't want to hear the fucking Christmas music.
Oh man, and it's all over the radio stations here too. They'll play it. They will play it starting. They play it starting the day after Halloween, all the way through New Year's.
I was
Same songs.
I was helping one of my brothers. His mom had us moving a bunch of stuff out of his basement one time. I think we were grabbing an elliptical and transferring it somewhere else, and she yells down down the stairwell. She goes, "Hey, while you guys are down there, can you get the Christmas tree out?" And it's like August. And, and so he yells back up. He's like, "Hey, how about you wait till after Halloween, Walmart?" It was,
That's funny.
it was pretty good. But yeah, so I think we're probably gonna wind it down here and all that because Larry's 2 hours ahead of us and or me rather, and he's a bit of an old fart.
No.
He's got to get his beauty rest.
Well, guys, I mean, when you have a son who likes to wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and is up for the whole day, and every other day will skip his nap. So
Yeah,
I'm anticipating him waking back up.
I've been through that, man. It's I don't miss those days.
Yeah. Yeah, I told my wife, I said, it looks like he has my sleeping schedule because she asked me how long, she's like, how long are we going to keep dealing with this? I said, if he picked up his sleeping schedule from when I was a kid, this is going to go well until his early 20s. I said, you can, if he's got my sleeping schedule, I said, you can forget him sleeping all the way to 7 o'clock to 7 a.m. consistently. That it's going to hit 5 o'clock on that dot, and that boy's going to be wide awake. And sure enough, almost every day, 5 a.m. on the dot.
Yep.
So,
That's just it's gonna he's probably just gonna be an early riser for the next 25 years.
yeah.
So it is what it is. Hey, real quick, I missed this, Kohai. I'm sorry. You said you almost died, or you did die the first time they tried to remove your shit, the tonsils. I think
Oh,
that's wild.
the older you get to, the more, from what I've heard, the more traumatic it is for you to get your tonsils removed.
Yeah, that's my dad had it done when he was like 50. And he's like, I wish I'd had it done when I was a kid because that was the worst freaking pain in my life. Because it takes that much longer for your body to recover, as well as just the trauma that it causes.
Yeah.
It
definitely.
So, and when I say trauma, folks, I mean like physical, actual trauma. I'm not talking about like what people who spend their time sitting in Starbucks and talking about real estate might consider trauma.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught the reference there, buddy.
I caught it. But in any event, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hey, we have some extra stuff for you guys too, but the conversation just got too good. But we'll definitely roll things over. Definitely considering doing some more Jeopardy. If you guys like that, do me a favor, let Sam know. Go on the community tab or whatnot. If he does a poll for it, just let him know if you guys are down with that. I'm also looking for some other stuff. Just kind of do things a little bit differently because we do like getting you guys involved with what we're doing, so that you can that you really are part of the show.
Right, 7-1. Yeah. I'll keep the fucking tonsils over that.
For real.
Says she did die for 20 minutes. That's excessive. Like they shouldn't have been able to revive you. Like brain damage starts occurring, like permanent brain damage starts occurring after like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I mean, that's glad you're still here. Shit.
Yeah, me too, Kohai.
So,
and if it comes down to a Kohai, though, I have to say that's one time that you can be first.
Jesus Christ, dude. You got to let that go. But all right. So, we'll be back. We'll be back on Saturday for Screaming into the Void, at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll be back for this show, Abyssal Musings, next Thursday, approximately the same time. Hopefully, I'll actually have my shit together. Probably not, though. Don't count on it. Actually, kind of missed Boa not being in the chat, giving me shit about the time. So, and then there will be some gaming stuff interspersed in between here and then. And in fact, probably tonight, maybe half an hour or so, maybe a little bit more than that, I will probably be back online with the God of War Part 2, or God of Boy, as I've been saying.
Yeah.
Because I think that's if you played the first game, that joke's hilarious. Boy. And then and we'll see. And that won't be the only thing we're doing. I will be doing more Sunless Skies at some point. I want to focus on this for the time being and see if that doesn't spark a little bit of channel growth. We'll see what happens. That said, otherwise you can find Larry and I both on the Exiled Lioness channel whenever she pops up and streams, we'll be there. Might be one this weekend. We'll see. I haven't actually heard from her.
I'll give her a call tomorrow.
But, and that said, otherwise, appreciate you guys coming. Larry, you got anything else you wanna plug before we go?
Not yet, guys. I'm still working on some things, but I'm definitely making the decision on what I want to do with my channel.
Sure. Well, I am awaiting with bated breath, as it were. So yeah, Kohai, that's says it all right there. Have a good night, everyone. So that being said, we will see you all next time. I'm gonna go out with our new intro for this show. But before I play that, what I will say is it could always be worse, YouTube. It could be raining flaming cobras. Not everybody.
Flaming cobras. Good night, guys.
What is it you pray for?